So if someone is telling you that they're low life, that their mission is not to do anything grand, in this case, that their mission is really not to do anything to expose the truth about anything in the martial arts, should we believe them?
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying?
这个比赛没有什么国家情怀啊、民族大义，什么都没有，是没有，就是纯粹的我个人需要东泄愤，这是一个很低端的想法。对不起，我就一个很低端的人，我没有什么那么伟大的思想。
If you didn't read the translation, he basically said that he's just doing these fights to vent his anger. He's really not trying to prove anything. It's just a way for him to get his anger and aggression out. He's not doing it for China. He's not doing it for anything other than to have an excuse to take out his anger on people. So if he just wants to take his anger out on people, then maybe he's cherry picking the traditional martial artists that he wants to fight. Maybe he's fighting people in these more publicized matches that he knows he can beat. And really, it really doesn't prove anything in the end other than he can beat that person that he fought. That's it. That's it. And no matter, I'm going to really stop talking about these type of topics per se. I'm just going to show something that's real world and then show how you can apply your Taekwondo to it or your Judo to it, whatever you're studying to it. Because people just don't believe you. They think that what Xu Xiaodong is doing is proving that traditional martial arts don't work. In particular, proving that Chinese martial arts techniques don't work. Now, I'm not a Chinese martial arts major. I have what I call dabbled in some of the Chinese martial arts. I've had some exposure to them. And I have actually used some of those techniques to protect myself in real world situations. The last time I used one was so I could make somebody dizzy that was trying to attack me. I didn't have to hurt that person. That's legitimate to me. But no matter how many times you tell people things that the traditional martial arts work when you use them what they're supposed to work for, dare I say, there are instances where traditional martial artists have beaten MMA people. And my ultimate argument these days is it really doesn't matter anyway, because any style that's around now is technically a mixed martial art because it's a combination of whatever styles came before, even Western boxing. So this whole TMA versus MMA thing is ridiculous. This whole Chinese martial arts versus other martial arts things is ridiculous. Because keep in mind, well, you wouldn't know this, so I'm going to tell you this. I actually met a guy, I'm not going to say he is, not just because I forgot his name, but I'm not going to say who he is because I'm not going to put his full business out on the street. He told me he fought in unsanctioned underground fight clubs before MMA. He said that what MMA is doing is just breaking the unsanctioned underground fight clubs to the public. We've been doing this. He used Chinese martial arts in those fights. And he usually won his matches. So y'all need to stop with this. And the reason, well, I'm not even going to say how I met him because that may give away who it is. But let's just say I told him what I was doing. He didn't have a problem with what I was doing. He thought that what I was doing would be effective. He didn't have a problem with traditional martial arts. The guy who taught me how to box, I wish I remembered that teacher's name. The person who taught me how to do Western boxing in the U.S. Marine Reserves was himself a Tai Chi practitioner and Xing Yi practitioner. He studied Western boxing. He told me to study whatever I can get my hands on. I'm just going to have something that's going to end up being my favorite thing. And he was right. I ended up ultimately going back into Taekwondo being my favorite thing. So, you people who want to prop up Xu Xiaodong, Xu Xiaodong is not doing what he's doing for any noble purpose other than he just likes hurting people and he's just mad and he just wants an excuse to I guess, get paid and get notoriety for beating people up. He could probably get some students out of it, and he's going to end up making money in the long run. Now, at the same time, there are instances when I'm not mad at what Xu Xiaodong is doing. I don't have any hate for him. Especially when I've seen when you see some of the stuff that leads up to some of the fights, it's like the person he's beating up is arrogant. There's been instances where the person he's beating up is arrogant and lying, and they just seem like, they're a bad egg. Why are they trying to get into a fight with this guy anyway? If they really want to get something out of it, they should try to find people that do what he does to help them make what they're doing better. They should be interacting with MMA people and exchanging concepts and ideas so that everybody wins, so that everybody improves. And on another thing, I was going to make this another video, but I'm just going to say it here and just say it real quick. There was one fight that Xu Xiaodong had with a Tai Chi master. The Tai Chi master argued that he lost the fight because Tai Chi master said he wasn't warmed up. He said the sun was in his eyes, and he said that the surface that they were fighting on was not conducive to doing Tai Chi techniques because it was a soft surface. Now, those are actually legitimate excuses, and those are terrible excuses. Those are legitimate excuses in that Xu Xiaodong could be picking that type of surface to fight that type of practitioner on because he knows that type of surface will not work with that type of practitioner. That type of surface does work on what Xu Xiaodong does. If the guy wasn't warmed up, he wasn't warmed up. If he wasn't ready, he wasn't ready. And Xu Xiaodong looked like he was fully warmed up before that fight. The guy got there late and he wasn't warmed up. What can you do? He wasn't warmed up. That's right. And if the sun's in the guy's eyes, he said Xu was standing so that he had the sun behind him. Now, that's strategy on Xu Xiaodong's part. But if he's using that strategy against his opponent, he's using that strategy against his opponent. He is. Lame excuse on that part is you should be practicing your techniques on all different types of surfaces because you never know what type of surface you're going to be attacked on. Okay? If you need a particular type of surface before a contest, you need to establish that before a contest, but you should be practicing your stuff on ice, snow, mud, rocks, cold, hot temperature, all kinds of weather. This morning I went through a bunch of kicks and stuff with a mask on. I've taught some classes with masks on. Probably because I forgot I had it on, but just to get used to that, you should do that. You should practice wearing all types of clothes. As far as not being warmed up, you should be practicing so that you can react and defend yourself when you're not warmed up. And as far as you can't see because the light's in your eyes, dare I say, you should eventually train blindfolded or to where you can't see because you might be attacked by somebody when the light's not in your eyes. Okay, so now all that being said, it's not like the guy that Xu Xiaodong was fighting was a professional fighter. And most people think of Tai Chi for health anyway. What if I went around challenging yoga practitioners to fights and I happen to beat yoga practitioners up? And that proves, hey, what I'm doing is better than yoga. But that still doesn't mean that there wouldn't be a yoga practitioner out there who also knows a martial art, and then they could turn around and beat me up and happen to say, well, I use my yoga principles because I applied that to the fight when this man attacked me or challenged me to a fight or whatever. It doesn't prove anything. All it proves is that when those two people met, that person won and the other person lost. So if you think Xu Xiaodong is doing stuff because he's on a quest, he's not. He says so himself. And, if he doesn't think that it's really got any positive benefit out of it, why should we think that there's any positive benefit out of it? Other than we ourselves decide to think that there's positive benefit out of it. Because sometimes good can come from something that's negative. That's all I got to say about it. So, don't get pulled into this. There's a lot of anti-traditional martial arts hoopla and hype out there. No matter how many times those of us who say, well, hey, we raise our hand, well, we've used our traditional techniques to defend ourselves. We just get shouted down and ignored even in some of the martial arts communities that might be on Facebook. So that's why I make these videos, these type of videos I'm doing in this instance, to counter that. Because stuff works. No matter how many times people try to tell you it doesn't, it does work. But at the same time, don't think that just because you've got a black belt in something that you can go fight a professional fighter. Because guess what a lot of professional fighters have? Multiple black belts in different disciplines. So, in a sense, they're traditional martial artists. So, what are you proving? Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people that like to talk about the martial arts in peace. And as always, thank you for your time.